but I think they left. Dear Tim and Moby, can you tell me all about the solar system? From Sam. Well, the solar system is our home in the galaxy. It started out 4.5 billion years ago as a big cloud of gas and dust out in space, mostly hydrogen and helium. Over the course of millions of years, gravity pulled the elements of this dust cloud closer and closer together until clumps began to form. The cloud also began to spin, with the biggest clump in the center. Pressure caused by gravity ignited nuclear reactions at this biggest clump's core, setting it on fire. It became the sun. The smaller clumps became the planets that we know about today. Some of them formed hard hunks of rock called the terrestrial planets. Earth is one of these. Others became big balls of mostly gas called gas giants, like Jupiter. Well, the sun is at the center of our solar system. It's actually just a medium-sized star, but for us it's the most important star there is. The 8 planets in our solar system are satellites of the sun. That means they travel around in an orbit. The 4 inner planets are rocky, relatively warm, and have craters. Mercury is the closest planet to the sun. It looks kind of like our moon, and it has one very hot side and one very cold side. There's no water on Mercury, and there's very little atmosphere. No, you couldn't go there. You'd probably either melt or freeze. Venus is almost the same size as Earth. It's sometimes called Earth's sister planet. The dense carbon dioxide atmosphere on Venus traps so much heat the surface can get up to over 450 degrees Celsius. Yeah, you'd definitely melt on Venus. Third from the sun is Earth, where we live. It's got just the right conditions for humans, plants, and animals. Mars is called the red planet because of its reddish surface created by the iron in Martian rocks. Mars has 2 moons and the tallest mountain in the solar system, called Olympus Mons. Although it's pretty dry right now, scientists think Mars was once much more like Earth, possibly with oceans and rivers flowing on its surface. The 4 outer planets are really far from the sun, so they're much colder. Jupiter is the largest, and one of those gas giants I was mentioning before. It's huge, with a mass 318 times that of Earth. It also has a permanent storm on its surface called the Great Red Spot, which is way bigger than the entire Earth. Saturn is another gas giant, with more than 45 moons orbiting it. You probably know it by its amazing set of rings. The rings are a thin layer of millions of chunks of ice and rock. Uranus is a gassy planet with small gray rings and more than 25 moons. It's tilted so that it looks like it's lying on its side. No one knows exactly why that is, but some scientists think the planet was knocked around during its early days by some other passing body. Neptune is the last gas giant, and it has more than a dozen moons. It was named after the Roman god of the sea, maybe because it's so blue. There's a stormy great dark spot on Neptune that's kind of like the Great Red Spot on Jupiter. Right, the solar system isn't just planets and the sun. There are lots of smaller bodies floating out there too. Asteroids are pieces of rock centimeters to hundreds of kilometers wide that wander the solar system. Most of them are concentrated in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. The dwarf planet Pluto, known as a main planet until it was demoted in 2006, is a cold, rocky body, even smaller than our own moon. Pluto has an odd elliptical orbit that sometimes brings it closer to the sun than Neptune. It also has at least 3 moons, Charon, Hydra, and Nix. By the way, Pluto isn't the only dwarf planet. Others include Ceres, the largest object in the asteroid belt, and an object named Eris, which is slightly larger than Pluto. Comets are clumps of ice and dust that orbit the sun. When they get close to the sun, some of their ice forms long, wispy tails that you can sometimes see from Earth. The Kuiper Belt and Oort cloud are areas in the far regions of the solar system where small bodies like comets are thought to originate. I know there's quite a variety of stuff in the solar system, right? What's your favorite thing out there? Yeah, I guess Earth's my favorite too.